What's up, guys? OldManTup coming at you today with our Week 4 matchup versus TTM Jolt, who we have yet to beat, ever, I think. Pretty sure we've never beaten Jolt. But we beat MV and we've never beaten him before, so he could just be next in line. Playing against the team that you can see on the screen. Before we get into that, I want to give a quick shout out to my boys at Blastburn Radio. If you like some podcasts you want to listen to while you're at work, while you're working out, whether you're just bored at home and you need something going in the background, this is excellent stuff to have. My wife and I own our own cleaning business. I do a lot of commercial jobs and I do them after hours, so I'm usually the only person in the building. Podcasts like Blastburn Radio keep me going. Link will be in the description. It'll be the top link. It'll say Blastburn Radio. Click on it. You will not be disappointed. Right now, they're doing a Nuzlocke World Tour where they play all the way across every generation. Right now, they're on Heart Gold, Soul Silver. They tell you about their experiences in the game. Then the three co-hosts have player versus player matches at the end of every episode. And it's just fantastic. I love it. It's one of my favorite things I've discovered in podcasting in a long time. But now that's out of the way, let's dive into this matchup and see what we got. Jolt, bring that Mega Aerodactyl, Groudon, Magearna, Manaphy, Goodra, and Mew. But a lot of the things I was really worried about in team building, I mean, he brought pretty much everything. All of these things can pretty much set up outside of maybe Goodra and just dance all over our face. And that really has me anxious going into this match. And it's just like, oh, this is not going to be a good time. But I'll remind you at the end of the match, hopefully, in the event senility takes it away from me, I'm going to remind you now, bringing back the post-game press conference. So if you would like, leave your post-game press conference questions in the comment section down below. And Monday night, I will probably record the post-game press conference. Mondays, I have 2 jobs, and I go to my grandpa's for dinner every Monday. And I'll probably record it whenever I get home from that, just because that's always a really good dead time for stuff to do. So have your questions in by Monday. If you want to ask 2 questions, one leading up to this or one after, I usually don't get that many questions, so ask away. Yeah, I do my best and I appreciate the interaction with you guys. But check out the team builder for the team we got if you want to know exactly what we got and why we got it. But we're going to dive right into this match. I didn't even check to see how long the setup was for this, but we're going to be playing Jolt, and I really am sad he brought Goodra. But I understand why he did, because I would have, because otherwise Shaman just drops Seed Flares for days. He's going to start out with his Dark Phoenix, which is his Mega Aerodactyl. We're just going to lead out with Scarfzilla like we did last week. Not terribly huge about this matchup, so we are just going to switch out here. Not knowing what he wants to do, might just go straight away for a Stone Edge, which would be Bad News Bears. So we are going to switch in our own Stealth Rocker. He's going to go with his Mega Aerodactyl. We need to set up Stealth Rocks turn 1, which is what we should have tried to do. But he's going to come in. He knows our sets, and he is going to taunt us right out the gate. And I should have expected that. This was a lead Mega Aerodactyl. I thought maybe it would be Rocks, 2 attacks, and something else. But no, this Mega Aerodactyl was ready for this Miltank to come in. Was ready all the way. We are going to get some yellow magic here. So let's keep count. That is 1 Body Slam, 1 Paralysis. Keep that in mind. We're going to switch out here because we can't stay in, be taunted. Alright, this thing's paralyzed. Maybe we'll get lucky on the switch in, but Melodic can take a Stone Edge regardless. We are going to get the Paralysis right out the gate, which will activate our Marvel Scale from the Flame Orb. Now he is going to switch out here. I I think I just went straight away for a Hydro Pump, and we do. We are going to hit, so that's bueno. Does a very small chunk, which I believe 2 leftovers should recover. Well, maybe not. But we don't want to stay in here in the event he does have an energy ball waiting for us, and we don't want him to get super set up in our face, and the Pirates are getting smashed by the Athletics. So we go into Super Saiyan El Scizor. Gonna take that Ice Beam like a champ. This was meant for those soft switch-ins against this thing. So that is bueno. He's not going to stay in unless he has the HP Fire. But even if he does at this range without a boost, we can take one easy peasy lemon squeezy. And at this moment, I should have defogged away the rocks. Pretty sure I don't do that and just U-turn instead. But this was a fantastic opportunity for me to just defog these rocks away. That would give me the opportunity to just get my next Pokemon in and set up rocks. But I'm not going to do that, so his rocks remain up. Strawberry is going to take damage from it. And we're going to get the Toxic racking up on us, which is no bueno. And we do see the leftovers on his thing. And Josh Ball smashed a 2-run home run. I really need to silence that before I set up. He's going to set up the Swords Dance here, and that is no bueno. At this range, we're not 100% worried about it, because he is probably a little bit bulkier. 2 Body Slams, 2 Paralysis. Just throwing it out there. The Hax Gods are really looking like they want us to win this matchup. So that is fantastic. We are going to just not set up Stealth Rocks this turn for some reason. I don't know. And we're going to get the Paralysis turn 1 after it's paralyzed again. So we are getting super ultra mega ridiculously lucky right now. But we're doing just barely more damage than he can put on us. Now this turn for sure we should set up Stealth Rocks in the event he's going to hit us with something at +2 to kill us. He's going to go for Precipice Blades, which would have done a huge amount of damage to us, possibly KOing us from that range. And instead we're just body slamming this thing. Tup, what are you thinking? You are just letting Miltank get worn down, you're not setting up Stealth Rocks, and this is your only Stealth Rocker, and we are just body slamming this thing. Now granted, we're keeping it into range, we do get the crit there. He is going to get off of Precipice Blades, and that is just going to rock through our boxers, and it takes us out from that range, which makes me think it probably would have had it the turn before. Now, luckily for us, this lets us let the sun go down. So we can switch in our Greninja, who's going to take damage from the rocks, who wouldn't have had we defogged them away, and we would have had our own rocks up at this point, so Ultron, who is switching in, would have been taking damage from it, and we're just going to go with an Ice Beam. Why didn't we U-turn there? I've made so many bad plays already at this point. We should have been able to switch in something on this right away. I'm just getting greedy for the first kill. Because I've been ahead in so many of my matches to this point, I'm just looking for that. We're going to bring Mega Scizor out here to absorb the Volt Switch, which won't do a ton to us. Does a nice little chunk though. We are at about 50% now. And he's going to bring Grandmaster back out. And I'm just thinking, is this thing really going to have the HP Fire? He doesn't. He just goes for Scald. I stay in. Going to go for the U-turn. Didn't want him to get up a free sub right here. Have I seen the leftovers at this point or not? I can't remember. So many things on this team had leftovers. It's just like, Jolt knows how to beat Tup. Built a bulky, fat, set-up team and just let it outlast everything he brings against you. And I mean, that's how you beat Tup 101. And he knows that because he's seen me in current seasons of the GBA. He's part of the TTM, which I've been in multiple tournaments of. And when you beat Tup, that's how you beat Tup. Hyper Offense doesn't beat Tup. Balance doesn't beat Tup. A bulky freaking team beats Tup. And that's what he's got. A bulky freaking team with leftovers on everything. We are going to get off a couple of seed flares here. We do get the super duper special defense drop, which allows that second one to do a ton of damage. We do take that volt switch relatively well. I wasn't expecting to take it quite that good. He is going to go into Gudra here, and we cannot stay in because we're locked into the seed flare, and he has to have... Please stop. He's going to hard switch out here, go right back out into Ultron. We have... Yes, that was a hard switch. We switched into Melodic. I do fully expect this just to be a volt switch out. Or he hard switches. That's what we both come in with stuff. He's going to bring Grandmaster out here. I go for a coil, I believe. No, I recover. Make a smart play. Was not expecting that this game. What happened there? But we do get back to close to full health. We were at full health before the burn. Okay, good. That's a range we need to be against this thing. He's going to go for Tickle. Here's where the bad play comes in. There we go. I knew it was coming somewhere. And we set up a coil, and I'm just thinking, we said in the team builder that this was the only thing that stood in its way. Why are we trying to set up on it? We've seen a hydro pump do less than 25% damage, and nothing we do is going to boost our output of damage. He's going to go for Scald here. That isn't going to do a terrible much. We're already burned. We are going to go for the hydro pump here because I don't know. I'm sitting watching this replay, and I wish I would have live calmed it so I could have had what was in my thought process going to this point. I must have just been so sure that he didn't have the energy ball at this point. And my guess is he went for the Scald there, not thinking an energy ball could take us out with the tail glow and worrying about the magic coat. Magic coat, I think. Whatever one bounces the stuff back. So we're going to bring Scarfzilla out here. He's going to bring out Grandmaster. He's going to bring out Ultron. And we are going to get an Earth Power off here. And we're going to see this do a huge amount of damage. Now, I'm thinking at this point, we're getting a special defense drop too. Again, getting super much lucky with this. While I'm thinking about this having been recorded, want to shout out Goldoa Dragon, who recorded this for me. Thank you very much. And while I'm doing that, I better thank everybody else that I owe a thank you to. Austin, aka Garchomp the God, who helped me with GFX as well as legitly breeding this team for me. So thank you very much on that account. Yeah. So, at this point, I fully expect him to hard switch out and preserve differential, because I haven't knocked anything out on his team yet, and he's just switching around me so well. He knows I'm locked into Earth Power. I don't know why, for any reason, he wouldn't go out to Mega Aerodactyl, because... Let's go a little bit further here till we get the HP bar back up. I did a huge miscalculation here. I don't know why. I was fully expecting, switching out here, that I'd be able to come back in on these rocks. I don't know if in my brain at that moment I thought, oh, that's a neutral hit because grass resists rock, which it doesn't, which I'm sure is what happened. So, idiocy there. But again, I was fully invested in the fact he was switching out into Mega Aerodactyl because he knew that I was locked into Earth Power and I wouldn't be able to hit him. So I'm going to hard switch out here. He is going to stay in and Volt Switch. Again, right now I'm expecting Mega Aerodactyl, so I wanted Mega Scizor in so I could at least Bullet Punch get some damage off, but he stays in and Volt Switches out. Doesn't preserve differential there, which is going to play in a little bit later. So, had I stayed in an Earth Power there, it would have been 5 to... What am I at now? 5 to 2? Is that what I'm at? Am I at 5 to 2? I'm so... I don't know. 5 to 3, I guess. Scarfzilla's going to go down there, and I'm just like... What just happened? Really, what just happened there? So, I don't know if I was so rattled at that point that my brain just left my body, but, when I saw Shaman go all the way down after coming in on rocks, I was just like, what did I do? What did I do? That was, had I realized it at the time, that could have been a sack, and I could have brought in anything I wanted against this thing at that point. It probably still would have been Sean Connery, but I could have brought in that, or what I believe is left is Entei. So Sean Connery's going to come out here, and in all reality, I should have U-turned. He knows he has to preserve this thing in order to beat my Entei. But I stay in a Dark Pulse instead of U-turning, which is just no bueno. Now here, I'm like, wait, what's going on? He gets off a Thunderbolt, and it kills my Greninja. And I'm just like, in what world, in what universe, does a Goodra, which I was expecting to be Assault Vest, so it could, any day of the week, 1v1 my Shaman Sky, is Goodra Scarfed? And I was just like, holy guacamole, Batman. What is going on? So we are bringing out Caliente, our last hope for the universe, to please get a kill so we don't get 6-0'd in this match. Little fun fact, this week was the 4-year anniversary of my first ever upload to the GBA, which was Season 4, Week 1 versus Cooper Kashiro, who I know a lot of you picked up it in the last match, was the Force Ghost telling me to use the hacks in the last match. So, and I got 6-0'd in that match. And I'm just thinking, no, this can't happen 2 years, or 4 years to the day almost, was what would have happened. And I'm just like, no, please no. So I'm going to bring out Caliente here, and I'm pretty sure I can 1v1 this thing unless he switches out into something else. But what do I need to do to win this match with Caliente? For one, I'm not setting up a substitute till I see whether or not Thunderbolt does more than 25%. I've got the leftovers, so I can see where I'm at with that. But I'm going to set up a Flame Charge this turn, because that will guarantee that I'll outrun this thing at least the next turn. Unless he paralyzes me, which could happen. But, yeah. He's going to stay in and Thunderbolt us. He could have switched out at that point, but I didn't know why he would. We're going to set up a Flame Charge here. Going to try and... that does pitiful damage. But it's good for us. We're going to get the leftovers, so we see right here that we can live another Thunderbolt. So it's possible that he could stay in or switch out, but I have to do something other than... I go with Sacred Fire this turn, yeah. I'm hoping to get like max damage and a 50% burn roll there. We don't get it, which is fine. But at the range he is, he didn't want to preserve differential before. So I fully expect him to keep this in through this turn. So at this range, I believe another Flame Charge is going to kill it. And I want to get that Flame Charge up to guarantee that I outrun everything on his team. But he's going to hard switch out here into Grandmaster, which is probably the riskiest thing at this point in the match he could have done. I mean, granted, he's got an entire team to stand up to this Entei, but I'm going to be faster than everything, and I have something that boomsticks everything. I'm sure his Mew could tank whatever I wanted to do to it, but a hard switch into this thing, which is his 2 Sacred Fire Eater, I couldn't believe it, because like I said, he didn't try and preserve differential when he left the Magirda in had I just stayed in, because he knew at that point that I wasn't coming back into rocks. He just hard switched out into this thing, and I'm just like, based off of how much damage my flame charge didn't do to the Goodra, it's gonna do nothing to this Manaphy. And I go for the flame charge because, like I said, I wanted 100% to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl because I have the Stone Edge for it, but I just need to know that I can outpace it. So here it is. We're max attack. We need a super ultra mega crit on this Stone Edge to win. And that's just, hopefully we can run through the rest of the team in the event we can, which I doubt. And I'm sure we couldn't, but trying to preserve the least bit of hope that I could knock something out. And he just hard switches out of that Goodra at the end, and there's nothing I can hit this thing hard enough with to kill it, and I can't even put it at close to death because I'm going to miss the Stone Edge. And Grandmaster's just going to scald and kill us. And we are 6-0'd for the first time in League format in as long as I can remember. And it doesn't feel good. Now, I'm not calling out Jolt for switching out there at the end. That's not what I'm trying to do. He wants to preserve differential. At this point, he's at the exact same record we are, and I probably would have done the same to save it, but yeah, that sucked. We were nervous going into it because of how fat his team is and what he's got on it. It's just super sad face. So yeah, that was week 4 of the GBA. We fall to a 2-2 record. We're still sitting right around. We're batting 500, and that's what it is. We're at half and half, 2 wins, 2 losses. Next week, we're coming up against Kyle A and the Miami Dawn fan. So, really hoping to pull a W out of that match. But Kyle A's got some really jinky things on his team that can run amok and just go nutso, and I don't like that. So we're definitely going to have to prep super hard for that, because I do not want to fall below even odds at this point in the season. So we want to be going up, not down. That's what we're going to do. We're going to prep super hard, and we're going to try and put the boots to the Dawn fan. So that's a game plan moving on from here. Like I said, check out Blastburn Radio. Those dudes are awesome. Check them out. Always fun there. Yeah. So, go check out Blastburn Radio. We are going to have that post-game press conference, which will probably go live Tuesday. So get your questions in the comment section down below after a 6-0 defeat. Asking about week 1, 2, 3, 4, all the weeks. As many questions as you want for your heart's content. If I get a ridiculous amount of them, I'll skim through them, but generally I end up with like half a dozen questions so I can answer them all. But you guys have been awesome this season in the comments section with the highs and lows of the season. So we're not hanging our heads. Jolt is a fantastic player with a fantastic team. I'm not fond of the fact we got 6-0'd, but if it was going to be to anybody this season, I would rather it be Jolt than anybody else. So we're moving forward, taking it 1 week at a time, and we're going to fight next week to get to that 3-2 level. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, that's where we're going from here, guys. I'm OldManTup, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.